Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Today is our walkie-talkie on Wednesday, but it is freezing cold outside and yucky and rainy. We had a lot of that bad weather come in last night, and it's just too yucky to be outside. Also, if it's your first time here, welcome to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be happy to have you join our homestead family. And also for my subscribers, please do me a favor and go back and make sure that you are still subscribed to my channel. My mother-in-law and a few others told me every time they go to watch the videos, they notice that they are unsubscribed. And I don't really know what's going on. I hear a lot of the larger channels saying that YouTube is dropping subscribers. So I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't believe it, except I trust my mother-in-law, and she tells me every time she tries to go to my channel, she's unsubscribed. So I'm not really sure what's going on. So just make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I hope everyone else is doing good. I hope they weathered the storm really well. I know up north, her and a lot of others, she's in Pennsylvania, are getting a lot of snow. I know Hippie Chick in Maine is getting snow dumped like crazy up there. So I just hope everyone is staying warm and everyone was prepared for all of this really yucky weather that we're having. So today on the walkie-talkie, I have a poem. Well, it's not even a poem. It's an article that was in a newspaper years and years and years ago. I regret that I did not write the date on the article, but it was good enough for me back then, probably around 2000, 2005-ish, somewhere up in there. I was printing a lot of articles and recipes and homesteading tips and off-grid stuff, you name it. I have a family, what I call a family homekeeper's binder, and I have tons of recipes and articles and Bible verses and just a little bit of everything in there. I really need to go ahead and get me a bigger binder because it's really needs to be replaced. It's really full. So something else I need to work on and organize. But I want to read y'all this article that was in a local newspaper here in Louisiana. It says, "Different Drug Problem. Editor's Note. The following letter appeared on the internet and was viewed by many readers. Many felt that it would be appropriate for the readers of," and it said, "a certain parish." But I think it would be appropriate for everyone to hear. So that's why I'm going to read the article to you. It says, "The other day, someone at the store in our local town read that a meth lab had been found in an old farmhouse in the adjoining county, and he asked me with a ridiculous question, 'Why didn't we have a drug problem when you and I were growing up?' Question mark. I replied, 'I had a drug problem when I was young. I was drugged to church on Sunday morning. I was drugged to church for weddings, funerals. I was drugged to family reunions, community social, no matter the weather. I was drugged by my ear when I was disrespectful to an adult. I was also drugged to the woodshed when I disobeyed my parents, told a lie, brought home a bad report card, did not speak with respect, spoke ill of a teacher or the preacher, or if I didn't put forth my best effort in everything that I was asked of me. I was drugged to the kitchen sink to have my mouth washed out with soap if I uttered profanity. I was drugged out to pull weeds in Mom's garden and flower bed and cockleburrs out of Dad's fields. I was drugged to the house of family, friends, neighbors to help out some poor soul who hadn't had no one to help mow his yard, or repair a clothesline, or chop some firewood, and if my mother had even knew that I took a single dime as a tip for this kindness, she would have drugged me back to the woodshed. Those drugs are still in my veins, and they still affect my behavior in everything I do, say, or think. These are stronger than cocaine, crack, and heroin. And if today's children had this kind of drug problem, America would be a better place. God bless the parents who drugged us. Submitted by a concerned citizen. Wow, that was very interesting. I hope y'all got as much out of it as I did. And, I think people are losing their hope in America, and they're losing their sense of being patriotic and proud, and for good reason. But in order for us to make America great again, we have to keep on doing what we believe is right, hold true to our beliefs, to our family traditions, regardless of what the rest of the world thinks, does, believes, gossips about, whatever it is. You have to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and do what the elders used to do, teach the younger generations. Now it seems like people have their priorities completely mixed up and matched up, and everything goes, everything's cool, everything's good. Well, it's not good. The old people, when they were around, everything was good. They made time to call you. They made time to send you a birthday card. They made time for family gatherings. They made time for you to come to their house and help them work around their yard. Those were important to them. And without all of those things, having your family and close friends and relatives around, what's people's purpose? Why would you want to go on? Why have people gotten so distant from family and friends and neighbors and relatives? And I believe that's where the problem lies in at, that families just aren't families anymore. And once the older people die off, then no one's teaching the younger generations the importance of all of those things. People think that it's more important to talk on their phone or play games, or I don't know what people do no more. I don't even try to keep up with what they do anymore. So that was a hard one for me to say. I know there are lots of bad things in the world that people are doing, but I do believe if people focused more on the things that were important, such as family and helping others and being kind and being respectful and forgetting about all the craziness in the world as much as we can. It's there, it exists, we need to be aware of it. I get that, but we need to start thinking about what's missing today that we didn't have yesterday or we didn't have 20 years ago. What's happened? What's changed? Back in the day after the war, 1 and 2, people had something back then that people don't have today that we're going through with this times that we are living in. People had their family. That was the glue that held the people together. And whenever they had their family, they could get through the hard times. It's a bit concerning now because people are so isolated and so conceited and so proud to be alone and by themselves that they're on their own. Yes, it's good to be on your own and have your space and have your distance, but during very trying times, such as we are experiencing now, you have to have help in many different ways, not just physical help. You have to have the emotional help, the family support, the guidance. There has to be a whole balance of things that work together. Those people back then made it because they had the strength of the family, and they surrounded all of their beliefs and morals and traditions around the Holy Bible. What are people surrounding their lives around now? What is taking up all of their time? What are people obsessing about? It's not family. It's not the Bible. It's not old traditions. They're inventing new ways, new currencies, trying to implement a new world order, have agendas that they want to fill. And it's sad that the younger generations are falling for all these new, I guess you could say, inventions that they think are better than the old ways. But it's kind of sad because being in the middle of the road now, around the 50 age, I see both sides. I see the benefit of the new modern stuff to a degree, but I also see what's missing from before 50 years ago. That families is what held things together. So my concern is what is going to hold my children, his children, and beyond and below there that are in their 20s, 30s, and then younger generations. What's going to put them in the position that the 50-something-year-olds are in now? We have the knowledge of how things used to be, but yet we see how things are changing. Just like our grandparents used to tell us that the world was different for them then than it was when they were children. And now suddenly we're the ones that have the option and the ability to keep that going and teach our children so they can teach their children. But it seems to has become a lost art. People are more interested in other things other than what's really going to count in the end. So this world is most definitely thinks it is gotten too big for its britches and that they don't need family and friends and relatives anymore. And I'm just afraid that it's going to turn out completely different than what they thought it was. They keep reaching higher and higher and higher and higher, and there just isn't nothing else there to get. And I don't think the younger generations has realized that they already have what they're supposed to have, and that's their family. And I don't know if people will ever understand that or restore that, and there are lots of people with family issues that clearly, according to the Bible, that if your parents forsake you, then God becomes your father. So there are situations that this doesn't fall in line for everyone in every situation, but there is a problem in the United States where people do not want to be united anymore. And if we are not united, our country is going to fail. I completely believe that. People have got to learn how to forgive, how to get along, how to make do, how to do without, and just look at the world differently instead of scanning a credit card and not talking to people, being rude, being disrespectful, talking back to elderlies and teachers, mistreating elders, mistreating you little children, and standing by and watching all these bad things happening. Um, I hate to be the one to say it, and I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers by far, so please don't take me that way that I am conceited or that I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. I am most definitely practicing what I am preaching, and I have always strived to do my very best and do the best that I can to help others around me. So I think it's important that we remember, even though we're one family or one unit or one married couple or one person on your own, it doesn't cost us anything to be nice, to be respectful, to be polite. Doesn't mean we have to be best friends. Doesn't mean we have to become booty buddies. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means it changes the energy in the environment, in our world, to a more positive energy. And whenever that happens, beautiful things start happening in the world, and people start becoming more unified. So I hope you got something out of this. Walkie-talkies are hard for me to do sometimes because they are heart to heart. They do come from my heart. They are sometimes my opinion, sometimes life experiences, um, maybe something that someone has come to me with a personal problem or concern through the years. And it gives me a chance to just be able to journal different things that I think is important that I like to share with others in hopes that maybe it will help someone else. It's never meant to, excuse me, never meant to attack anyone else or blame anyone else or be conceited or cause any confusion. It's to give someone else an outlet to let them know that they are not the only ones in this. We all have one life to live, and we all live here on the earth together. And if I can say something that helps someone else or inspires someone else or provokes their thinking, maybe they've never thought about something, maybe they were never aware of something, I don't know, just whatever it is or however it strikes you, it's meant to be an encouragement and inspirational, and just to let people know that you're not the only one. Other people have issues too. Sometimes people feel like they're the only one that had all this horrible stuff happen to them. That's just not the truth. We all have to dig ourselves out, and we are all on different stages and different walks of our life. So I hope everyone has a great day. And thanks for joining me today, Walkie Talkie on Wednesday, indoors today because of the cold weather. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.